You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. Today, the Black Women's Roundtable released their report, Black Women in the United States 2019, called Centering Black Women and Girls' Leadership and Public Policy Agenda in a Polarized Era. Now, on Monday, we had a preview and talked about the increasing political power of Black women and the decreasing income insecurity of Black women. Now, today, let's look at three more findings with our panel. Now, from the report, over 70% of Black women surveyed rated the following issues as very important: affordable health care, criminal justice, policing reform, equal rights and equal pay, hate crimes, racism, jobs, employment, and voting rights. Black women made it clear that their top policy priorities were protecting the safety net programs such as Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, as well as access to affordable health care. Going to our panel here now, from the report, according to the most recent federal data, Black girls' 12% suspension rate is much higher than girls of any other race and most boys. And research shows that dark girls are suspended and expelled more harshly than those with lighter skin. Now, also, algorithms used by big tech companies and other industries contribute to racial profiling and the systemic and institutional sexism and racism and discrimination that marginalizes Black women and makes them vulnerable victims to these algorithms, and their ability to decrease opportunities for employment, housing, credit, education, and health care, which harms the economic wealth and well-being of Black women, their families, and their communities. I want to start with Teresa first. One of the reasons why this is important is because by being able to specifically identify the views and perspectives of Black women, this helps Black women and others, whether they are in public office, whether they are volunteering or campaigning on campaigns, or whether they're simply voters, to know how to impact public policy and what we should be asking and demanding of elected officials.
So I think the slew of items that Black women are putting on the table are those of quality of life: equal pay, equal pay, criminal justice reform, health care, are the items that, you know, is needed in order to protect them families. But also whoever's elected is to know that when they are making those decisions, when they are thinking about, you know, raising taxes or thinking about, you know, taking, like what they did in New York, taking meat on Tuesdays to help some of the school students. But I'm thinking of a holistic approach of just understanding that their ability to inform them of those issues are better equipped for them to understand what path they need to go and how they need to legislate moving forward.
You know, another critical thing, if Black women don't put certain agenda items on the table, they don't go on the table. And so, interestingly, voting rights is one of those issues where white people poll very low on wanting that on the agenda. So if Black women don't put this on the agenda, it doesn't happen. But also, if we connect the dots to some of the earlier footage of women getting beaten, clearly Black women are powerful politically, but they are not protected. And so the encouraging news about this report is that Black women are starting to make inroads in white districts in terms of getting elected. Because the only way you get true protection is to get a hold of policy so that we can put bad cops to jail, so we can put bad prosecutors to jail. And so what's encouraging is that more people are getting elected in unsuspecting places. We've all known that we can get elected in majority Black places. We can now get elected in white places. And so, but that has to ultimately translate into policy to protect women, because also Black women are a threat. That's why you see so much violence imparted on them.
And I also think, though, this idea of power and how that works, right? Some of this is things you can legislate your way out of, right? We can legislate equal pay. But the other part of these things about maternal care, right? I mean, Black women suffer at high rates of infant and maternal mortality. So we know that that's something that we have to educate our medical communities on. Black women talking about they're not listened to in those spaces, that Black women are in very precarious positions economically. Their wealth is very minuscule when compared to their white counterparts. When you look at their job types that they have, right? Their employment status that they have do not lead to longer term care and longer term wealth building. And I think what this report does well is show us how all of these things are connected, right? So you have a systemic problem where Black women are concerned. So yes, they're making inroads in judgeships, they're making inroads in legislatures, in the state level and the national level, but they're still some of the poorest, the sickest, and the most harmed by these trends toward criminal justice and exclusionary voting rights. I mean, because Black girls are not only being suspended, this is also where that prison pipeline starts. And you see Black women are being convicted and becoming a larger share of the prison population in this country. So I think what this proposal does, or what this report does, is show us how all of these things are linked together. And they're linked together by white supremacy, which pervades all of our institutions, even the ones that are supposed to care for us. Not just police forces, but medical communities and others who are not supposed to really care about what your race is, but maybe what your humanity is.
And also, I just need to add this, that Black women and girls are ignored by and large. We're in Women's History Month, and Black teachers, some of the most impactful on students, are ignored. So I like this report, and I encourage people to read it, because we have got to just elevate the voices of Black women, because they, in every aspect of quality life measures, education, politics, health, even, we are getting more control and say on these things, and particularly in education, Black women are rising. But there's always an outcome associated with that, in suspension, expulsion, for instance.
Or pay.
And pay, right, that don't reflect the progress. And so until we get that kind of power, sheer power, we're going to see these kind of weird disparities within each sector.
Leave it. All right, then, folks, you can then go to the Black Women's Roundtable and go to the website and actually see the full report.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
All right, folks, calling all HBCU alumni, students, and leaders. Enter the Ford Motor Company HBCU Mobility Challenge and win $25,000 for your school. Building on their long-term support of HBCUs, Ford is looking to improve mobility in HBCU communities through innovative solutions. The winning program will receive a grant of up to $25,000 to implement the proposal. The deadline to apply is March 31st, 2019. Go to fgb.life for more information and to apply. Remember, Ford goes further in our community. We thank them for being a part of partners here at Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.